Now we're going to move into drawing the lip area. This particular person has really, really full lips. Very pronounced Cupid's bow. And I just start by looking for my shadows that kind of curl around that very full upper lip. The lips have a natural wrinkle pattern to them that go up and down. And so I try to do a lot of my shading up and down. I do go from side to side once in a while, here or there, to fill in a base color, but I try to make most of my marks up and down on the lip to follow the natural creasing of the lips. And I'm using that 2H. Lips should always be darker than the surrounding skin. I will tell you that. One of the things that often I see in the first portrait that kids do is they will get that skin done and they'll draw the outline of the lips and leave the lips lighter than the skin is, and it just really looks odd. So just starting to build some value, some tones in there. Now I'm going to work from the left corner. The center area has some of the lightest tones, so I'm trying to sort of blend into them or build into them a little bit. Again, very short marks, short movements of my pencil. Darkening in the crease. Your darkest shadow is always going to fall in the crease of the lip. We can see just a little bit of her teeth, but they have a pretty big shadow on them because she has a very full upper lip. So it's casting a pretty dark shadow. I don't try and draw all the teeth. I try and pay attention just to what I can see. And then I use my shadows to sort of obscure what's in the mouth. Typically, the lower lip is slightly lighter than the upper lip is for most people. In this case, this model has a light sort of shining right in her face. So it's not totally normal lighting. But if you were to look at other people just here in the classroom, you would notice that more light hits the lower lip. So it tends to look a little bit lighter in tone or value. And usually there's a bigger shine on the lower lip, especially if it's somebody who's wearing lip gloss or lipstick, which she is. Although it's a light pink color. So as the lip curls out of the mouth, there's a little bit more value or tone to that, a little more shadow. As it hits that fuller part of that bottom lip, we see more of the shine hit it. And towards the outside of the lip, we get a little bit more value to it again. So we get that light shining right in the middle. It's that reflection again. The outer edge has a little bit of a dip, very mild, but it adds a little bit of shading right along the edge. And then as I start to add value, again, I do most of my line work across the lip instead of the length of the lip, I guess. I tend to go across it just like the regular normal lines that we see in lips. I don't try and get my values perfectly set the first time through. I can always make them a little bit darker. And it's easier to do that. When you start having to erase shading because you've gotten too dark, it's almost impossible to get it all matched up so that it looks even again unless you completely erase and start over. So I always try and build my values a little at a time rather than starting too dark or going too dark to start. Again, though, notice there is almost nothing being left totally paper white on these lips. Even the teeth have shadow. They're not little white squares outlined in black. Please work on getting away from outlining everything with a dark line. You can go back in if you've need to pull up a little bit of light. That's what I'm doing there, pulling up just a little right through the center. You'll notice though I pummel. When I have to lift, I try and pummel rather than rub the eraser back and forth across the area. I try to just tap it. Kind of takes off the top layer without totally putting a streak in there. Now she's got on light pink lipstick. If she had on dark red, my values would be much, much, much more bold. You have to think about, for your portrait, your person, how dark are their lips compared to their skin? Chances are good, once I put the skin around this, I will probably go back and add more value to these lips. But this is a good start.